Chapter 3. The Old Guard. A deep analysis of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, DIA. In this lesson, we'll discover why the Dow Jones acts as a defensive sanctuary, analyze its final peak on July 6th, and reveal the stunning data behind the capitulation of the bears. Welcome back. In Chapter 2, we saw how the S&P 500, halted its advance early. Today we examine the old guard, the Dow Jones, to see where capital fled just before the storm. The Dow Jones represents 30 blue-chip, industry-leading companies seen as pillars of stability. In modern cycles, this index acts as a defensive sanctuary where capital flows when growth sectors become volatile. Our analysis reveals the Dow was one of the very last to peak. While the S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 exhausted their momentum in early June, the Dow continued to climb, seeking refuge in the most fortified part of the market. The chart shows the DIA's demand ratio hitting its final peak on July 6th. This wasn't broad market strength, it was a late-stage defensive rotation, the structural equivalent of capital fleeing the front lines for the castle. The fundamental data provided stunning confirmation. By mid-July, short interest in the DIA was a negligible 4.88%. This signals a total capitulation of the bears in this sector. No one was betting against the old guard. This created the final, most potent illusion of safety. The aggressive short covering was actually the final burst of buying fuel. The market used the Dow as its last hiding place, while the broader structure was already failing. The behavior of the old guard was the final chapter in the rotation. It teaches us that a rally in defensive stocks while leaders falter is not a sign of health, it is the signature of an imminent market decline. To recap, the Dow Jones acted as the final defensive sanctuary. Its July peak was the last stop for optimistic capital, and negligible short interest signaled the final stage of the rotation. In our next chapter, we'll enter the engine room, the NASDAQ 100, to see why the high-growth stocks were the first to show signs of critical failure. I'll see you in Chapter 4.